From the very beginning, Marygrove treats its customers differently. That's what I'm talking about when I talk about assume the sale. I'm not saying assume the sale for you, I'm saying assume the sale for the customer. If we assume the sale, we treat every customer at that same level, regardless of the situation we're walking into. Part of assuming the sale is also Marygrove's policies of not moving appointments, not calling ahead to confirm, and not asking whether or not both decision makers are going to be there. Because we assume the sale from the beginning. And that changes the way we treat the customer for the betterment of that customer experience. What that means, though, is that you are going to run into one-leggers. The good news is that Marygrove has an incredible tool set that allows you to navigate one-leggers, and you're given the freedom to use those tools in ways that can resonate with those one-legger appointments. So obviously, the strongest thing we can do for a one-legger is lean into inventory and that $100 deposit. If we have successfully tied this promotion to a limited time inventory or a limited quantity inventory, now we can really transition to that $100 deposit being a tool designed specifically for this customer to take advantage of. The $100 deposit is the superpower that we can use that no one else can in the industry to get this sale. Remember, every other awning company that they're going to meet with is going to ask for a 50% deposit for a custom built awning. We don't have to do that. Okay, so let's assume that we're at the close now with either the husband or the wife of a one-leg appointment. And they say, hey, everything looks great. I just need to run this by my wife before I make any decisions. Again, it's always a really good idea when you are met with an objection to kind of confirm that that's a valid objection. It's a nicer way to transition into the pivot that you're about to make. So something to the effect of, absolutely, look, this is a big purchase. I wouldn't make this purchase without discussing it with my wife either. But now we can talk about the $100 deposit as the tool that makes sure that they get everything they want. So absolutely, I wouldn't make this decision without talking to my wife either. That is one of the reasons that Marygrove introduced the $100 deposit when we're talking about an inventory purchase. Remember, the 16 by 12 beige frame cafe navy, that's one of our inventoried combinations, and we're taking advantage of that with the Tech and Comfort package and the Essential Bundle being included for you. Now all we have to do is a $100 deposit that's going to pull that awning out of inventory. It's going to hold this entire package for you, and it's going to make sure that one of the four of that combination we have left right now is yours. It's reserved. That gives you the freedom. It gives you the breathing room to have a conversation with your wife when she gets home. If you call tomorrow and say, hey, we decided to go with another color, or we decided to go in a different direction, absolutely no problem whatsoever. At that point, we can pivot. And that's really it. If you have tied inventory to the promotion and really sold that idea, if you have language that feels good to you, that you've sold that inventory idea to the customer, that $100 deposit is really going to resonate as a tool for them. If you're able to do that, you'll get that one-time close even with a one-legger. It might require a little follow-up, but you've got it. Now, there are a couple of variations that you can do here if the one-legger is non-committal, which is a pretty common issue when you get a one-legger. I don't want to pick a fabric until my wife sees them. Typically, it is fabric color. And one of the things that I have talked to reps this year about is changing the language to say something to the effect of, actually, Marygrove has thought about that for 2025 as well. One of the things that we changed about our inventory system in 2025 is we are now stocking, pre-manufacturing, and inventorying bare frames, which basically means we know the size, we know the frame color that you're going to do. We're going to do a 16 by 12 beige frame. It's the perfect size for your deck or patio, and that beige frame matches your gutter perfectly. I understand that you want to go over fabric options with your wife. But why don't we do this? We'll put the $100 deposit down. I can hold one of those bare frames that we have in our inventory system. It's eligible for all the same promotions. And then when you've picked a fabric with your wife, I can go ahead and finalize that and lock that in. The other pivot you can make is reserving more than one fabric color with a $100 deposit. And this is just a language trick. So let's say you know that they're going to pick a beige fabric, but they don't want to commit to the actual one. We have linen, khaki beige, and cafe beige, those three options. Hey, we're not supposed to do this, but what I can do for you is I can go ahead and hold all three of these fabrics for you. So I do have 16 by 12 beige frame in all three of these fabrics with one $100 deposit, again, refundable. I'll go ahead and hold all three of these fabrics for you. You know you're going to do one of them. That gives you, again, the freedom to have a conversation and finalize it. We can touch base tomorrow and make sure that we have the fabric that you want. That language of holding three fabrics for them or three different awnings out of our inventory is really strong because it keeps you on their team. You're helping them navigate the inner workings of Marygrove that you're very intimately aware of and they're not. That keeps you on their team and doing a little extra or a little something special for them. Really strong language and a really strong maneuver that's hard to say no to with just a $100 refundable deposit. Finally, the last thing you can do about a one-legger is offer to come back. Especially if you have a lighter schedule, just offer to come back. Give the rundown to whoever's there, give the full Marygrove experience, but just offer to come back and give them days and times that you can do so. In the end, because of the way Marygrove treats their customers, we are going to run into one-leggers. The great news is that we have all of these tools that no other awning company in the industry has. We have the $100 deposit. We have a low entry, low risk inventory system. And you have the absolute flexibility to maneuver and use those tools in any way that makes sense. The most important thing is to walk out with the $100 deposit. We can figure out the rest on the back end together.